Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Ulyain Village and the choice between Raif and Zerel's berry and fruit dishes. Alright? So the player characters are in the village, and the nightly meal comes up. Okay? And the player characters will have to have dealt with food at this point. So basically the Ulyain people, they really like to eat, and they all enjoy eating together, right? And so one of the things that the player characters have seen over the last few days or up to a week is that there's a new type of dessert that some of the people are eating. So they've all had this traditional dessert, which is, it's called pomalore, okay? And pomalore is berries and this bland, hearty, mixed in this bland, hearty fruit, okay? And the Ulyain always present this as dessert, right? Kind of a sweet treat after a meal, right? But the player characters don't really understand why, because it's not sweet at all, and it's not that great. You just kind of gum it around, and it's not really good, okay? But at this point, your player characters will have dealt with how they deal with the Ulyain's food, whether they are very, grateful or whether they don't like it. Of course, they do have hunters, so they have meat as well. But this is what they eat for dessert, at the end of a meal. And so at this point, everybody's used to pomalore, okay? Well, over the last few days, Injil has been introduced, okay? And some of the villagers are now eating Injil, okay? And Injil is berries and the same bland, hearty fruit mixture. However, Injil is set out in oil for a day and a half, right? And then it's treated with some other herbs from the forest. So there's just 2 extra steps that are above and beyond pomalore, okay? And one of the things that is known now about Injil, because the villagers talk all the time amongst themselves, is that if this is made correctly, it's very sweet and soft, and it's much better. It tastes much better than pomalore. But here's the issue. If it's not made correctly, it can make you sick, very sick. Now, no one has died from it. It just makes you sick, right? And it's all a timing issue, right? And so a few different people have tried making this Injil, and there's a lot of discussion in the village about pomalore and Injil, right? And so Injil is the hip new treat, right? But it's kind of dangerous. If it's not made right, it makes people sick, right? And pomalore is safe, but it doesn't taste that great, okay? So the player characters are sitting at dinner one night, and an event occurs where they know they have a problem. The player characters have a problem. As soon as they, as they're given this situation, the player characters have lived with the Ulyain long enough to know this is a big deal, right? So what happens is the player character with the lowest charisma score will be approached simultaneously by Raif and Zerel. Raif is bringing pomalore, and he brings a plate of pomalore. And and Zerel brings a plate of Injil, the hip new treat, right? And they both bring this meal right to the player character with the lowest charisma, okay? And they give him these 2 small plates of this food, okay? Or her, excuse me. And at that point, the player character has to make a choice. So they can have insight rolls on the following. So one, the player characters already know that they need to make a decision. And the reason why is when they have been going and getting water with the Ulyain people, they realized, one of them at one point had asked, hey, do you want to go get water near where the river goes around the bend? Or do you want to go get water near where the flowers are. They ask this of one of the Ulyain. And the Ulyain are shocked, right? Because the Ulyain are very unusual about decisions. One, all Ulyain see a decision given to someone as a burden, right? And so whenever anybody proposes something, they don't like there to be any questions or choices. Someone just proposes one thing and that's it, and they do that thing. So people are to make decisions quietly and by themselves. And it's considered a burden for one person among the Ulyain to give another person a decision, okay? In addition to this, when the player characters have chosen both, when they're given a choice and they choose both, the Ulyain are very upset about this. They get upset, right? It confuses them, and the reason why is because they see decisions as a burden, they take them very seriously, right? And when someone takes both and decides not and takes an action to not, what the Ulyain read that as is they take it as an action of not deciding and not accepting the burden that's been given them, which to the Ulyain is offensive. So choosing both options in a decision point is offensive to the Ulyain. And the player characters have been around with them for weeks now, for coming up on weeks now, and they've learned this. So they realize a few things. So they can make insight checks, and if they make those insight checks, they will learn the following. One, or they may already know this, depending on how much interaction they've had with the Ulyain. One, Raif and Zerel have brought this forward to the player characters because the player characters have shown to the people that they are heroes. Okay? And the Ulyain have discussed this for days now, but they want a decision. They want to know what is better: old, safe tradition or exciting new options. And they want the player characters to decide this for the village. And the player characters realize that if they eat all of Zerel's new Angel, right, and eat only some of, they'll try them both, right? And whatever they eat all of, that is their decision. And whatever they eat some of, that is what they're rejecting, right? And if they eat all of both, then all of the Ulyain, right, well, they'll all get up, they'll put down their meals half finished, right, and they'll walk away upset, and the whole village will be upset for like a day or two, okay, because they don't understand why the player character is being offensive to Raif and Zerel, right? Especially when Raif and Zerel made this nice dish for them, right? So they have to decide, and what they're saying is, this is, I am putting my vote behind doing things in the old traditional way, or being exciting and trying new things, even if it's dangerous, right? And they're sending a message to the whole village on what the player character thinks they should do. And that is Raif and Zerel, Pomalor and Angel in Ulyain village. Thank you.